Good morning from Niger, Africa. I am Sunday morning on, what day is this? January 13th. And I am here in Niger on mission with Schools for Niger, Africa and The Link. And I'm going to have an opportunity, pastors, this morning to preach a message at a local church. And one of the things that came to my attention last night that I want to share with you today is the necessity for relevance. Here, it's a different culture. There are different ideas or ways of life. And in the message that I'm preparing to preach this morning, there are some concepts I wasn't really sure how well they would translate. And so I sat down with the translator who will be working with me during the sermon, and well, I guess I should just tell you where I'm coming from. So I'll be preaching about Uzziah, King Uzziah of Judah, this morning over in 2 Chronicles chapter 26. And in that passage, we find that Uzziah was blessed with a great and wonderful rule, that God had, he was faithful to God and God had made him powerful. But once he became powerful, he was lifted up with pride and he performed some things that displeased God and was eventually stricken with leprosy for the remainder of his life. And so we may preach that. I've preached about Uzziah before in America, and just talking about leprosy or talking about pride, those are things that I can talk about very easily in our cultural context. But here, I didn't know how pride was expressed, and I also didn't know how talking about leprosy would be received, because in Africa, some parts of Africa, there is a modern day leprosy, and there are people who are stricken with leprosy. It's not the same leprosy that's in the Bible that causes a person's skin to become white and to become blotched. It's a type of leprosy that causes people to begin to lose the tips of their fingers and their extremities, and it can be very debilitating. And so I didn't know if talking about leprosy this morning was really going to make people uncomfortable. And so I did a little homework, and I asked the translator, and he explained that it would be all right, it would be acceptable to talk about leprosy and that people would understand. And so understanding that I need to do that to really, how can I put it, to gain an understanding of how a concept can be relevant or how it can be presented here in a foreign country where people speak a different language, it reminded me that we need to do the same thing at home. That when we're preparing a message, we need to consider our audience. We need to consider whether or not the concepts we're sharing are relevant to their daily lives, how it is going to be received, and how we can be impactful when we talk about these concepts. And so I just want to remind you as pastors, as ministers, to continue to do your homework, do the research, find out what God is saying to you so that you can say it to God's people, and then also consider, how can I make this stick, or how can I make it palatable so that people can digest the word and so that they can begin to apply it to their lives. We want to make sure that in our speaking, to do our part. God's going to do his part, but for us to do our part, we don't want to say or do anything that will hinder God's message to his people. And so this is a fly on me. So I wanted to just share that with you this morning and encourage you. I want you to know that even though I'm here in Africa, I'm still praying for you, praying for you as pastors. I love all of you. I believe in the God who has called you to ministry, and because of that, I believe in your ministries. And I hope that as you continue to strive to understand the path that God is leading you in your messages, that you will also consider how your messages can be relevant and affect the lives of people. It is 2:29 a.m. Back on the East Coast, in the Eastern time zone, and but we're 6 hours ahead here. So I will be done preaching this morning, maybe even before many of you wake up. But wow, it's amazing. You cross the ocean and you're a world away. But even though you're a world away, we serve a God who holds the entire world in his hands. And so if you don't mind, I just want to pray for you. Father, I just ask for your grace and your mercy to fall on your ministers today. I ask, God, that you'll give them the strength to continue to serve you, that you'll give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and that you will help each of them to fulfill the purpose of their ministries. Lord, broaden their horizons and their scope, and bless them to be able to connect with your people with relevant messages. In Jesus' name, amen. Take care, and I'll be getting back home soon and share some of these stories with you. Bye.